The other way.
Okay, I can see me.
Okay, I'm going to flip you. I think you love live. We're going live. Did it flip? Oh, I flipped it the wrong way again. Okay. All right. Okay, hi guys, it's Suzanne from Flatwearable Artisan Jewelry. I'm going to do a demo today on how quick you can make rings with the bender press. So, I've already got a bunch of ring shanks here ready to go. So, if you have any questions while we're doing that, Rick will read them off to me. Other than that, let's go ahead and do them. Okay, if anything of mine looks a little different than yours, I usually work with a lot of prototype stuff. You guys always get the best stuff. But I continue to work with prototype stuff. This ring block here, I know you've had some concerns. Some of you people have had some concerns and questions about how long does the ring block last. This ring block here has bent hundreds of rings and is still going strong. As long as the ring is still forming, as long as the bend is still forming, the ring block is good. Okay? Done. I mean, like, what was that, 20 seconds? You can see my ring block is, you know, it's dirty and it's gouged. It's going to get that way. You're creating a tight bend against a surface that is softer than the material that you're working on. It's going to mar up. Perfectly fine. As a rule, I like to start with the largest mandrel pin in the most shallow channel in the forming block to help get the bend correct. If I need to make it smaller, if I need to make the ring smaller, then I move down to the mandrel size of the rings that I'm looking to make and maybe start going into the deeper channel. You can see I don't use my deeper channel a whole lot. You can see that this channel is getting used quite a bit. So if you've watched any of the videos, you know I say make the candy cane shape on either end. Then you start bringing the two ends together. Little presses to start. Once you've shaped the ring, then you want to do full presses. Once the tail has gone underneath the decorative end, then you want to make full presses. Nope, that one hasn't been dressed yet. Okay, this is going to be, I'm going to do a spiral on this one. And this is an Iowa souvenir spoon. So you're going in at a little bit of an angle. Instead of straight on, you're going in at a little bit of an angle and creating the candy cane shape. You can see how the bend is going off to one side. Do the same thing on the opposite end, a little bit off to an angle. Then you start rocking it back and forth, bringing the two ends together. Actually, not together. You're going to bypass one end for the other end. Once you've reached that bypass area, then you're going to go around and around to finish shaping it. That looks pretty good. Okay. This is really cute little spoon somebody got, baby spoon. I'm going to do a double wrap ring on this one. Same thing, starting with your candy cane shape. Then we're going to bring the handle over top of the bowl portion. You're going to flatten your bowl portion down first. That seems very weak in the area there. Sometimes you're going to break pieces. It's kind of what happens. Sometimes we work with old silverware. Sometimes the silverware is 100, 150 years old. It gets frail and fragile. And sometimes you break pieces. And it's unfortunate when it happens, but it's just the nature of the beast. And you can see, I'm just going to continue to go around and around and around. Until the bend is closed. If I want to make this tighter, let's say for example I want to make this tighter, all I need to do is to go into the shallow channel. I don't even need to change. Oops, I just ripped off one of my Velcros. I don't need to change the pin necessarily, because I may get enough tightening just by going into the deeper channel. If not, then I'll change pin sizes. And it's making this smaller, definitely. Beautiful round shape. Makes a really nice, substantial ring for somebody who's got a long span between the knuckles there. Here's what I'm going to do for you, double wrapped, with a smaller spoon bowl on this one. So it's not going to require somebody to have as big of a finger, or as long of a finger, as I should say. Candy cane shape. This one, it's hard to tell the back and the front because they both look the same. There's letters here, so this is the back side. See, I've got that handle going right over top. Just keep manipulating it. Why don't we have Rick show the handle that I've put on the fender press here, on the arbor press. Show this handle. This is the breaker bar. You're going to get a ton more leverage. You are essentially going to turn your 1-ton press into the capabilities of a 2-ton press by putting on a longer handle. If you have not seen the short video that I did on how to put a longer handle onto your arbor press, it is both on the website and on our Facebook page. It's really super easy. Probably the most difficult part of it is cutting off the socket end of the breaker bar. If you have an angle grinder, that's what I used to cut mine off with. I'm just checking for shape and size and roundness, and you really get to, over time, tell if the ring is done without even looking at it, just by the way it feels as you're going around and around with it. Okay, really nice, beautiful round shape. These are going to take you a little bit longer than just a regular round ring, because there's going to be a lot more rotations with that. Here we're just going to do a regular ring again. Now I am in the deeper channel here. Once you get the hang of it, which really is a very easy learning curve on this, you'll be able to make rings this fast. I can do 60 plus rings, and that's cutting, tapering the tip, grinding the tip, shaping, everything in a couple of hours. That's a really pretty ring right there. Nice style. Nice round shape. What you're looking for. If you're getting kinks in your rings, you're trying to bend too quickly. So always go back to basics. My Velcro came off here. Always go back to basics. If you're getting kinks and you're really frustrated with it, get your largest mandrel pin out, go to the shallow channel, and take your bends slower. It looks like I'm doing them really fast, but yes, it's because I've done them for so long that I can do them fast. When you're learning, you want to go slower, take your bends slower, don't press quite as fully when you're making your bends, and that will help you prevent getting kinks in the ring. Now, beautiful round shape. If you find that you're getting a little off alignment in your rings, you can adjust right directly on the arbor press, and I'll show you. I'll do it purposely. I'll misalign purposely to show you how to make that correction. So I've made my candy cane shape. I'm getting ready to come in, and my ring is off. Can you see how it's off? It's not lined up. By rotating it a little bit on the pin, you can get that to line back up again. Watch. See how I lined it right back up again? Just by a little rotate and a little press, you can line it right back up again. Now it went off. It went off again. Okay? And I didn't do it purposely that time. But, again, a little bit of rotation on the pin while you're pressing lines it right back up again. Okay? Beautifully lined up. Nice round shape. Little butter knife. Going to do a double wrapped ring on the butter knife. I find that the double wrapped rings work good for about 4 to 4 1/4 inch material. Much over that, then it starts getting a little more difficult, just because you're going to be wrapping more than once. The material's longer, so it's going to force you to have to wrap more than once, and that's when it's going to become a little more difficult. Bring that over the top. Pinch my finger. Bring it together over the top and continue to go around and around. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. If you are not catching this video live and you're catching it on recording, definitely post your questions in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. People ask me, how long do you cut your rings? How do you know what size to make? If I'm just making rings for the store, I don't make particular sizes. I just eye everything and cut it, and then I can always adjust sizes when customers are here. If it's custom work where I need to make a particular size, I use the Contenti ring sizing chart. If you bought a bender, you got the ring sizing chart in your kit. If you do not have that ring sizing chart, you can go to contenti.com, look under resources, and you'll find it there. You can actually print it out as a PDF and keep that at your bench. This looks really cute. So this actually wrapped almost 2 full times. You can see it took me a little longer to do, but I also had to wrap that. You can see how the tips are almost going to come together again. If I make that smaller, then they will, and that's like full 2 times. Okay, another spiral ring. Again, you're going at an angle. You're going at an angle in this direction. If you're left-handed, you might go in the other angle. I'm not really sure. I've never done it the other way. Those that are lefties might tell me, do you turn to the right or to the left if you are a lefty? Okay, again, we're working on a bypass. Keep the ring moving. Less likely to get kinks too if the ring is moving as you're pressing. Move, press, move it, press, move it, press. Continue to go around and around until the shape is formed. Okay, real pretty there. One more for you. Love this style of silverware, repoussé style. It's actually very elegant. One of my most favorite things in silverware, older silverware, is that repoussé style. Again, we're going to do a spiral. This was a long iced teaspoon, and the pattern went all the way up. And I thought it would be a real shame just to cut off a smaller section to do a regular ring. So I thought we would do a spiral with this one. Had a bunch of these teaspoons and these iced teaspoons in this pattern, and every time I make them, they're gone. They sell very quickly because this is also a very popular style for people other than myself. Just very, very reminiscent of the Victorian era, which I'm very fond of. Makes a gorgeous, gorgeous spiral wrapped ring. Okay, so if you have questions on sizing, I'll do a real quick demo on how you're going to size the ring smaller. I'm going to switch pins. One of the most beautiful things about our system is the interchangeable pins. You're not stuck with one size pin because one size does not fit all. As we know, we have customers of all shapes and sizes, and it's nice to be able to have pins in different sizes for different sizes of rings. So, okay, what I'm doing now is I put on a smaller pin, and I'm going to have to stick a new Velcro on there. I'm going to go into the deeper channel. The deeper channel and a smaller pin is always going to create you a tighter bend. So when I made the ring initially on the larger pin and the shallow channel, you are going to get the largest of the rings. Not necessarily the largest of the rings, because you can make rings larger than the largest pin by not pressing down fully on all of your presses. But when you want to make something smaller, go to a smaller pin in the deeper channel, and that's automatically going to create a smaller ring. But I always say, when you're learning especially, do not start out with smaller pins in the deep channel, because you get kinks in the metal and you just get frustrated. So go slow while you're learning. Learn the technique, learn the process. Then when you're comfortable with it, you find yourself going faster and using the different channels differently than when you first started learning. So I should have measured that ring for you, but hopefully you can see that went down quite a bit in size. Get a little flat spot there and round that out a little bit. There, that's better. Okay, in enlarging rings, it's just as simple as putting it on a steel mandrel and tapping it down the mandrel. Take your rubber mallet and you tap that down the mandrel, and that's going to enlarge. Oops, sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there. Grab me that plastic sizer. So right now, this ring is a size 4. I find that the sizes on the steel mandrel aren't as accurate as the one on the plastic, so I always size on the plastic. Tap down. Obviously, the more you go down the mandrel, the larger it's going to get. I should get a new rubber mallet going here because I've pretty much gouged that up. So now we have a size 5 ring. So it's just as easy. If you've gotten too big, back on the press. Back on the press and shape it again to size it down. Okay? Now we're at about 4.5. Alrighty. You guys have any questions about the bender press, about making rings, about anything that we do here? Make sure you post your comments below, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. Thank you. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye to Rick. Bye to Haley.
Bye, guys.